Don't be bitter, be better. Song, right?
Well, actually they are better because it's talent.
Oh.
We're rolling dice. Camera. Action.
Hello and welcome to the BBEG Podcast, and today we are breaking down the legendary class that is Sorcerer. You have myself, Em, we have Hattie, and we have our guest today, Becca.
Hi. welcome. So yes, the Sorcerer. When was the first time you ever played a Sorcerer?
To be honest, the first time I ever played D&D, I played a Sorcerer. And I would like to say that I've played other classes, and I have, but pretty much just played the Sorcerer class as much as I possibly could.
Yeah, you always remember your first.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
My first ever campaign was a wizard because it was a pre-generated.
Yeah.
It was one of the starter sets. But as soon as I discovered Sorcerer, I was like, yeah, this is me. Because me and my friends were looking at each other going, if we were classes ourselves, and I was like, well, I can't be a wizard because I'm not that smart. Like, I'm not. However, charisma, uniqueness, nerve and talent, and the words of RuPaul's Drag Race, I am a sorcerer.
Yeah.
So,
well, I saw this thing the other day about this guy saying, if you want to be the most powerful, but also the most lazy and not have to do as much prep as a wizard, be a sorcerer.
Ooh.
Okay. Yep. Which, like, I'm kind of like, okay, fair enough, because the thought of having to learn spells from books, I was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I just want to be innate.
I just want to be naturally,
you know, like with my power.
Attack for that meme at the same time. Like, just be talented, you'll be fine.
Yeah. And every wizard hates a sorcerer.
Yeah, that is very true.
So let's go.
Like, talking through our characters.
Yes.
You said it was your first ever character that you played. Not my first, but possibly two of my favourite characters I've ever played. One is a straight up sorcerer, and one is a sorcerer, so paladin, sorcerer, multi-class, which I'm playing at the moment with Roll for Imagination. But I just love having that sorcerer element, and I don't think I'd ever do anything different.
Okay.
But it wasn't your first character, was it?
No, it was not my first either. So I started with a druid. Right. I was like, this thing. And then we changed campaigns, didn't we? And I was like, okay, I'm going to read the book, and we'll see what's in there. And I literally think I turned to sorcerer, and it was like, it's your naturally gifted. And I was like, okay. And looking at all of the ranging of spells between like it going completely wild and it going into quite destructive. I was like, oh, there's some flavour here. Like,
and Hattie is a quiet one. But
right. Yeah, I'm also I'm like, can I burn the body? Like,
literally, she looked at me in one of our sessions. She went, I'd like to set it on fire, and I completely forgot the sorcerer subclass that she picked allows her the ability just to touch things. It's a homebrew one?
Yeah, I think it is. It's called Phoenix, I believe. And it just means that
Phoenix Bloodline.
Yeah. And as one of your like magical abilities, it's something that you don't have to cast spells and it doesn't use it. It's not a cantrip, it's just a natural innate thing.
Yeah.
Is that by touch I can ignite things that are flammable.
Right.
So if we're sitting at wood hut, it's going up.
To be fair, it was distracting for the cultists. It really worked. So many times we looked in the room, it was like, I'd like to burn it, and everyone else was like, what is going on?
It's the MIP question. Is it about fire? Yes. Can I? Yes, we can. Okay. Like,
Yeah. You've used it for good and evil.
Yes.
Backstory, a bit more evil.
Yeah.
Goodness in terms of the campaign. They found a room that had a bunch of treasures, but some evil stuff in it, and they were like, this cannot go anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm going to burn the room down. I was like, smart move.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But I don't think we've told anyone in the rest of the campaign that this is like an innate gift. So there is a lot of like, how is she doing this?
Yeah.
Right, I see.
As in, like, I'm not rolling for it. There's no spell slot or cantrip that I am. It is literally just, there we go.
Like, every class and character have their own personal features.
Yes.
Like, as an aberrant mind sorcerer, which is legit one of my favourites, I just get telepathy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost anything.
Yeah.
It's like a 30-foot radius. Wonderful. Done at any moment.
Yeah. So yeah, you are gifted with magical ability. It's not given to you via books or knowledge or bestowed upon you via a deity is the wrong word, but
bloodline or an event.
Yes.
Most of it's bloodline when you look at Draconic or the Phoenix.
Yes.
Some are event based, like Storm Sorcerer. You have gone through a storm.
Yeah.
Probably been struck by lightning.
Yeah.
Survived.
But because of that, it's based in your charisma rather than anything else.
Yeah.
Similar to I was going to say bards.
Bards are charisma.
Yeah. So it's just a natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Je ne sais quoi. Natural flair.
I always say that. When you look at the main magic users of D&D, wizards are book smart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorcerers are street smart.
Mm.
No. Druids are street smart. And then sorcerers are just the annoyingly talented ones. Just sit there like, I can play with fire.
Yeah. Somebody gave me.
And I didn't have to study for it.
I didn't even touch a book.
But sorcerers can do a lot.
Yeah.
And they fit, especially with, like, if you look at the stereotypical roles in a party, when you've got tanks, healers, they fall definitely into the blaster category.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Wizards or sorcerers, you don't want to mess with them because though they are fragile,
yes,
they are, in terms of packing a punch from such a low level.
Yeah.
Undeniable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cast a spell, take you out, and then when you get to level 2, which we'll cover the features, but having the ability to affect your own magic from, like, making them heightened, make them last longer, more powerful, or double. Damn.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. So when you are creating a sorcerer, do you stick to what's recommended in the PHB? So I think that's what is it? You put your highest stats in charisma and constitution, or do you spice it up a little bit and maybe put them somewhere else?
I mean, I think it's always depending on what you're going for. Yeah. What did you do for yours?
Interesting. I don't actually ever put constitution in.
Ooh,
I put my next in either wisdom or dexterity, depending on who's in the party. So if there's a wizard or a cleric, then I'd probably put it in dexterity because you can literally, instead of worrying about more hit points, you can just be like, dodge.
Dex books on swap, I totally understand.
So
because it's take the hit and be a bit more durable, or can I help myself dodge it in the first place?
Yeah,
which I totally get.
So I do normally do that, but if there's no other, if there's not a wizard or a cleric, then I would go for wisdom, so that there is at least someone in the party that has that. It depends totally on the party, but I don't actually normally do it in constitution. Always charisma. I always max out charisma, and as I level up, I always first thing I do is max out charisma. First thing I do.
Most people would.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't. I just max it out.
Yeah.
Until that's done, then the feats. I find.
What race did you start with for sorcerer?
Half elf.
Half
elf most of the time because I feel like it works with the backstory, especially with wild magic. Because you can literally just say it's from the elven side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that totally.
It works really nicely.
Yeah.
But I've played tiefling as well. That works quite nicely as well with sorcerer.
Yeah.
Because you're a tiefling.
I'm a tiefling. Yeah. So we have the +2 in charisma for tiefling, so it really does work with that magic.
Yeah.
Being where it's coming from in your charisma anyway. You kind of, if you're already maxing them out, you want to send that up as much as possible.
I'm an edge Nazi.
Okay.
It was more for like backstory and flavour more than what works for the class, but I just enjoyed what it can do. I can't remember the stats off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure there's something in charisma. Maybe there's not, but also just because a racial aspect might give you a bonus in constitution or whatever. If you've got that anyway,
Yeah.
then you can put your stats wherever you want. It's like you were saying, if you put a half elves again there, +2 index and +1 somewhere else.
Yeah, I can't really remember. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so bad at remembering. I always sit there with my handbook and I'm just like, oh yeah. I remember now.
Yeah. If you've got a race anyway that's going to give you a bonus,
For sure.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you have to go with that.
No, because it's gonna help you anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Dragonborn's stats are charisma and strength.
Probably.
And it kind of makes sense, especially on a floodline when you look at that, it boosts your defences in a sense. But just because you've got them, you're probably going to have some decent stats anyway. Yeah. So when you roll the rest, and if you're lucky, you've got decently high rolls anyway. Yeah. By the time you share it around, it still works.
Yeah. I was going to say, so much of it comes down to like the luck of the roll when you are creating the character. Yeah, maybe nice. Maybe like, as long as you keep that set, you can keep going until there's numbers that you're happy with. You're still going to have some that are low and some that are high, unless you are incredibly lucky and you just end up with them all maxing out. Yeah. But yeah, having to choose that can obviously shape it based on backstory or based on the character you want to play or based on the campaign you're playing in. Yeah. So.
But you are right. The PHP definitely steers you towards this, especially its quick build section. It's steering you to what a standard build is, which is very useful, especially when you're new.
Yes. Yeah.
However, we always say, never be afraid to put your into it. It's the whole point of D&D. You don't have to be a
sorcerer. You do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
No, we've kind of touched on it with the races, because not that the PHP tells you to pick a race, but when you look through the races in the PHP before you've ever explored outside that book, you can definitely see what ones have been made to fit classes better. Like we said, half elf, tiefling, because they both have that +2 on charismas. Yeah. But then swap it with the Dragonborn, who does have a plus in charisma, but plus in strength, which isn't typical. Like there are some fun choices you can make.
Yeah. Obviously, depending on your DM that you have and whether or not they want you to stick to PHP or explore other things, you would probably find a whole collection of races that aren't in the book that would maybe suit it better because the backstory has had this happen and therefore it works. Go crazy.
Actually, the really cool one that I played once was actually Triton. If you do it as a sorcerer, it works so nicely.
Yeah.
And I literally had them use like, basically they just conjured like the storm of the seas, like that was their power.
Yeah, and thematically
it makes sense. It worked really nicely. Yeah, so that's just.
Either of you remember what background you picked for your characters when you go through them? The PHP again leads you towards the hermit background.
Yes, it does. Yes, hermit. Yeah. You get proficiency in medicine and religion. Tool proficiencies, as in you get a herbalism kit. Another language of your choice. So hold on.
Totally get it through a druid.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, not convinced it's the best option.
No.
It's not helpful, especially with the medicine boost.
Yeah.
Stabilizing someone in a party when they're down is always a bonus.
Especially if you don't have a good ambulance healer available.
Or if your cleric is still prioritized.
Yeah.
Or is down. Your cleric is down.
Yeah, like I would say it's quite good for a cleric.
Yeah.
But.
Or even a druid.
Yeah.
Medicine and religion.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, which are both good really well. Sorcerer, I think there would be a better one.
Yeah. I think I might have had Sage was my first. Which makes sense more, I think. Yeah.
I don't think
I think it was Sage was my first. Which I do feel like lends quite nicely, especially if you haven't got another caster as well. Having that archon in the history.
Yeah.
It's really bolster.
Really help. So really, I think for me, all the time, it really depends on who else is in the party.
Yes.
Because it also, I find it can be quite easy to, with a sorcerer, because it's innate power, it can easily become where you make it the main character syndrome.
Yes.
And it shouldn't be that, because D&D is about the party, it's about everyone.
Yeah.
And it can quite easily become like the Harry Potter syndrome, of it all being about Harry.
Yeah.
You know.
And then you end up with like 14 lone wolves, and you're like, oh, guys.
So we hate the whole lone wolf aspect. We do.
Yeah.
I do get it for a backstory, if that's what someone said. Like,
Yeah.
because one of my characters was very lone wolf in backstory, but then they met a group that had to learn to work with them.
Yeah.
So just like the challenge of learning to trust these people.
Yeah.
So that was his new sort of step. It wasn't, I'm going to go off on my own and do this because I can do it all and I don't need you.
Yeah.
It was just a case of, I need to learn to trust you guys. There was a moment where he did one thing on his own.
Yeah.
And in fact, it was also connected to his backstory. So it made sense. It wasn't just on a whim. And then the others, like, you could have just spoken to us. And then it opened the dialogue of, oh, this is what's been going on.
Exactly.
But it worked. It was a role-play scenario. It wasn't just
right.
one character constantly going, you guys should not, I'll do this fight. Because no one enjoys it.
Yeah.
No. And there's got to be a reason why these characters would want to work with other people.
Yeah.
And
if
if
be there. Like, if the group has all been invited to play a lone wolf, why?
Yeah,
exactly.
There is a absolutely.
And that's definitely something you have to watch with Sorcerer and Warlock. They're the two classes that I always find whenever I DM, it can quite easily turn into their story.
Yeah.
If you're not careful.
I picked the haunted one, which is the lone wolfiest out of the bunch. Because like you've faced unimaginable horror and don't want to speak to people, basically.
She hates humans.
Everyone hates you. You think everyone hates you, so you stay away. That's basically it in a nutshell. So I was like, right, we're gonna so lean into this very hard. So as a playing, it's already the one that is, if you're gonna pick a racist like class or a class that people hate, tieflings. Easy option, low hanging fruit. Yeah. So I went for that and then leaned into the whole like humans have killed my parents type of thing. And then I played in this group. So it's all about family and everything woven in my family into this story, and so it is 100% don't be the Harry Potter, but I also am the Harry Potter. Yeah. I realise that now.
It's not, but you don't play it as if it's all about you.
No.
And it's a storyline that so far has covered 3 separate people.
Yes, it has,
Right,
so,
okay.
And everyone knows there's coming, and it's just like little bits here and there. So.
Yeah, a bit like, I know to reference back, but like Baldur's Gate, obviously having different companion quests and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is a great example of having lots of different characters having different stories, their main stories all running side by side.
Yeah.
And it should be like that in D&D.
Yes.
Everyone has their own little journey.
Yeah.
It comes together.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I know, I just started like, you should be doing that. And then I'm
main characters.
Yeah.
Really?
What's up there? Jeff was sat here at the beginning,
and I was like,
so class features. Should we go through them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when you are picking a sorcerer, naturally we all know that the lowest dice points of the whole group are D6. So it's really up to you what you want to do with it. But when you start to look at the different features that they actually get going through, level 2, Font of Magic, like straight from the gate. Oh, well, you've got spell casting straight out the gate.
I was going to say, from level 1, you've got all of your cantrips and your spell slots, so you already go in with quite a lot of firepower to begin with.
Yeah.
And we've seen with other classes that some of them don't even get like things until level 2, level 3.
Ranger.
Yeah. And that kind of, you have to like grow your character to be able to find them, which is a shame if you don't get that far. Whereas with this, from the beginning.
Yeah. Very much so. It was same as Wizard and Druid.
Yeah.
Get more spells. That's also because that's what your class is good at. Mm-hmm. Ranger can fight, not like you can't. When a wizard or a magic user suddenly has to start using a sword, you know that either they're being tactical,
Yeah.
trying to save spell slots, they've used them all up, so
Yeah.
they're a bit vulnerable. Whereas a ranger has a health point barrier to handle themselves in an up and personal fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then can fall back on spells when
Yeah.
you need to.
Yes. So level 2, if we start from there, we've already gone through everything with your cantrips and your first level spell slot.
Yeah.
So obviously level 2 you get your font of magic.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to sum this up other than just kind of you get more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get more magic.
So this is where you start to get used to it.
Oh yeah. That would be the other one, yeah.
Sorcery points can be used for different things. At this level, the only real thing that you can do with them is use them to create an additional spell slot in that moment. Not a permanent one, but just, I'm at a spell slot, we're in the middle of a fight, but I've got some sorcery points, and I can burn them to cast the spell.
Yeah.
It's like overcharging yourself slightly, just to handle the fight. Or even, you can sacrifice spell slots to make more sorcery points. At level 2, though, not much need.
No.
It's more from level 3 when you get your meta magic.
Yeah.
You also have the flexible casting with this font of magic. So again, that is the additional spell slots of sacrificing.
I don't know about you guys, but as like a newbie to the world of Sorcerer, and it was exactly the same with Druid the first time I played them, where with Druid it was your shapeshifting, so the animals you could turn into that I was like, oh, do you know how to use this? Thank you. It's the same with the sorcery points to spell slots. I'm like, I don't know how this works.
It's so confusing.
Okay, I'm so glad you said that because I was like, am I just being really dumb?
It's so confusing. I still get confused. I still have to look over everything in my notes every time because I'm just like, wait, what can I do? What can't I do?
Yeah.
And sometimes you just need to ask your DM, am I allowed to do this? Okay, cool. I'll do this.
Okay.
Yeah, you have never used sorcery
points. No, because I'm terrified of.
Well, don't worry. I went through 70 hours of Baldur's Gate forgetting that you can do that. It wasn't until I was fighting Raphael and my partner went, why are you not using your meta magic? And I went, oh my god, I forgot this was D&D. And I was like, oh yeah. And then all of a sudden, I was just like, oh yeah, now I'm really OP. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
this is fine. She got this. So it's like, why am I not dealing as much damage as I would in a fight, like on a tabletop game?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? And then I remembered it's the same. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I think it's just the layout. Like, it's different. Whereas obviously, when you've got it written on your character sheet, you're like,
and it's familiar. Like D&D is very familiar. You have a page, all of the information's there. Baldur's Gate is a world.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, okay.
Yeah, I totally forgot that that's something because in the class, because it can be when you're just thinking, I need to hit damage.
Yeah.
You sometimes forget, I actually have something that's going to hit even more or longer or whatever.
I do it all the time when I play The Witcher. I'm like, I have an oil for this. Why did I not put it on myself?
Oh my god, yeah. Why am I fighting these wolves and I didn't use necrophageal oil? Like,
exactly.
What am I doing?
100%. I think also the thing is, it's not just forgetting you have things. It's you look at a 300-page book, and it becomes very overwhelming. Like we have noted down just all the stuff for this class, and you still look at Font of Magic, and it goes sorcery points, flexible casting, creating spell slots.
Yeah.
But then when you look at flexible casting, it is literally saying your sorcery points can gain additional spell slots. So they're kind of all saying the same thing in very different ways.
Yeah.
And that becomes confusing.
Yes.
So anyone who is looking to have a sorcerer, to break it down really easy, is you have a magical bag of extra points.
Yes.
And when you are in need of them, you can use these points to either allow yourself to cast an extra spell, or when you're at some higher levels, which we're about to go into, cast spells with additional effects.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's the basic way to say it.
Absolutely. And
She's going to slap me after this.
Makes sense now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Never mind.
Also, in gameplay, I don't remember everything.
No, I don't remember anything.
Especially when you are new
Yes.
for the first time. So you said it, never be afraid to just ask your DM, like, what can I do in this moment?
Yeah.
Because I say it, yes, I want my players to be ready with an idea when it comes to, because battle takes a long time.
Yes.
However, in the moment, especially when new, that doesn't always happen. And sorcery points can be used outside battle because it's for spells, and not every spell is battle orientated.
Yeah.
So yeah. Meta magic?
Yes.
Oh no, you.
I was gonna, but it's okay. I was gonna say, I think also the wording in the PHP can be incredibly confusing. Is the wrong word, but it's not entirely straightforward. So I think in my
it's
head,
big words.
there are big words, and they are scary.
You were a sorcerer again, weren't you?
Although Christmas.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yes. I can't remember. Again, another character I have on my phone.
Yeah, you were. Sorcerer then. Kelly was a druid. Gilly was a rogue, and Tim Cell.
Was it Timothy? Something. We shortened it so that it was
Tim Cell.
Like Tinsel. Obviously, we turned it into Incel.
I was like, I was going to be a play on Tinsel, and we just went Incel.
And then all the jokes became like he rolled poorly and couldn't open the door
as a barbarian,
and 3 women stepped up and just like, and it was like, oh, he's secretly crying. It was like,
he was the only guy who did. Literally, it was like, all right,
yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
Right. Meta magic. Right.
Sorry, continue.
So, going on from the font of magic with the sorcery points, this is where you can start to use your sorcery points, and there's a lot of ways to use them. So if I just reel them off quickly, and then we can chat about each of them. You've got these are effects that you can cause to your spells in different ways. Yeah. So you've got the careful spell, distant spell, empowered spell, extended spell, heightened spell, quickened, seeking, subtle. There is a transmuted spell option.
Yes.
And a twinned spell. So let's go through each one.
Yeah.
Meta magic happens no matter what your subclass is.
Okay.
What doesn't happen is you don't have access to every single one. You have to pick 2 or 3. You can pick more as you level up.
Yeah.
But you pick a select few that you have access to this power to do. And yeah, with subclass features, you all have something at level 1. And then the gap is to level 6.
Okay.
Which makes sense considering you're starting from the get-go.
Yeah.
With some extra abilities, and then it's filling in the gaps before you get some more.
Okay.
That's totally fair. So, if we look at the careful.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, go on. It's your notes.
I know. That means I've got to remember how to read.
Oh.
Okay, so when you cast a spell that forces other creatures to make a saving throw, you can protect some of those creatures from the spell's force.
Yeah.
So if you cast one and your party is in there, friendly fire, you can protect them.
Yeah.
To do so, you have to spend a sorcery point.
Yeah.
And a chosen number of those creatures up to your charisma modifier. So you can only save, if your charisma modifier is a +2, you can only save those
2 people
by spending 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
But same if it was a +4.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what your modifier is.
Okay.
Which is handy. Like, wizards have evocation magic, and if you pick that as your squall, then basically whenever you cast a spell, up to your current level, you can save how many people are in the way.
Okay.
It's really handy when you're in a fight. It's getting messy, and sometimes you just want to burn hands.
Yeah. And if there's like loads and loads of enemies around one person, and you're just like, I need to knock them down a bit because that's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It can really save me.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Especially when you nailed it. I can't add to that. Yeah. I like it that it says chosen creature because it technically means it doesn't have to be an ally.
Or like human. Like, could
Well-
you do it for a
Doesn't matter the race.
No, in terms of, I know, is it rangers have familiars?
Oh, when they've got the companions as their
Yes.
Beastmaster. I don't see why
Right.
not, because it's a creature
Yeah.
and they have their own stat block. I would look at that person DM and go, anything that's got a stat block is something that you can pick.
Right. Yeah.
Because also if like a druid is
Yeah.
wild shaped,
Yeah.
technically a creature,
Yeah.
which would fall under this,
Yeah.
whereas if it was humanoid,
Yeah.
it kind of knocks out any of your party that's an Aragorn
Yeah.
or anything else.
Even an NPC without a stat block, still
Yeah.
eligible to be chosen. Imagine that's one that you need to protect. I'm not going
Yeah.
to pick it because it doesn't have stat block.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Next we have the distance spell, which is when you cast a spell that has a range even of 5 feet or greater, you can spend a sorcery point to double the range of the spell. When you cast a spell that has a range of touch, you can spend a sorcery point and make the range up to 30 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking at you like, please tell me that's correct. Like being in school, I'm like, did I read the paragraph correctly?
But it's just, again, it's just another really handy,
Yeah.
especially for the touch element.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like some of the cantrips that you have.
Isn't there one that's like lightning or electricity?
Yeah.
That's
Shocking grass.
Shocking grass, which
Yeah.
is only touch.
Yeah, and I know it's a cantrip and it's only in D8. However, sometimes in the moment, even if you're out of spell slots, you could spend the sorcery point.
Yeah.
Actually,
It's a good
30 feet.
starter distance spell. I would
Yeah.
say it's quite a good starter one if you're not sure what to pick for your item magic.
Yeah.
Something like distance spell would be a good one to start on
Mm-hmm.
because it's not too much to it
Yeah.
and too much to remember,
No, exactly.
and just getting that bit of extra
Yeah.
range definitely helps.
Yeah.
And it can be really helpful for any spells. They're quite handy for some basic cantrips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn Firebolt to a 240 foot range.
Yeah.
Like, you can start taking people out before they are that close.
Yeah.
I know it's only a cantrip. However,
It works on anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would still have the spell slots
Yeah.
afterwards.
you've not wasted
You've
any
not
spell
wasted
slots
any
until
spell
they're
slots.
closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of dangerous.
Now, some might think it's a waste of a sorcery point. Why not just use it on a more powerful spell, which I totally get.
Yeah.
But not all spells have that distance.
True.
Yeah.
But still, if you can turn a 60-foot spell into 120 foot,
Yeah.
why not? That's still a good fucking distance.
Yeah.
So then you got empowered spell. So you roll damage for a spell, and you can spend 1 sorcery point to re-roll the number of the damage dice up to your charisma modifier. So you must use the new rolls as well.
Yeah.
So basically, you can take your charisma modifier, say it's a +4, roll damage dice up to that, and take them as the new roll.
So powerful.
Yeah. So, like, especially if it's something like, okay, any spell slot spell at this point is going to be multiple damage die.
Yeah.
Burning Hands is an easy example. It's 86 off the top of my head, if I'm correct. You might have a +4 modifier. You might have rolled 3 ones and gone, shit. Spend the sorcery point. I'm going to only roll 3 of them. That's all
Yeah.
you need to try and fix it.
Yeah. But then you also get to add your charisma modifier on top, or is
No,
it
you're
just
just
the amount
using
of
the-
dice?
You're just using the modifier to correct how many dice.
Got you. Okay.
So say magically it was a situation where you doubled the damage of the dice anyway,
Yeah.
so you're rolling 66.
Yeah.
Or obviously when you're higher levels, you can add more damage dice onto them.
Mm-hmm.
You might be able to do that at a high level, but your modifier could only replace 4 out of 6 damage dice. But still very handy if you need to change damage and try and boost it.
Got
Yeah.
you. Okay.
I think very tactical as well. If you know an enemy is near the end, you
Yeah.
just want
and you
to
just want to keep
hitting
it before it's
sure.
going to turn.
Especially if you know there's like a bit of a risky scenario of like if we don't kill them by the next turn,
Yeah.
we know something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like it's not effective, whatever.
Yeah.
The extended spell, when you cast a spell that has a duration of 1 minute or longer, you can spend 1 sorcery point to double its duration. So think, is it distance spell, but make it time?
Yeah. And
So,
again, really super handy.
Yeah.
especially when the maximum duration is 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
I use this one. This is one I always start with, extend spell, because even outside of battle, it's so handy as well. Also, just like a random little thing, you could also, I know obviously Mage Armor lasts for like 8 hours, I think. You could potentially not have to waste the spell slot and just extend that and have that then for the whole 24 hours.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have to then waste another spell slot to recast Mage Armor if you aren't going to take a long rest for ages.
Yeah.
So that's a little tactic that I've used with using the extended spell before. Just a little tip.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Because as a DM, I would work it as, so if it's just doubling the duration, which said Mage Armor is 8 hours. So 1 sorcery point doubles that to 16.
Yep.
Someone, I want to make it 24. For like 1 extra sorcery point, you can have the other 8 hours.
Yeah.
I wouldn't double it to 32.
No.
It would just be the double of the original.
Yeah.
And I think that's totally fair because it's still, at the end of the day, they could get to the end of the 16 hours and go, I'm going to do this again anyway.
Yeah.
Really handy.
It's the
Pass without a trace as well. Like,
the
plus,
it's so
an extra hour. Yes, please.
Yeah.
And all decks.
Yeah.
Decks.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. So I actually think that's more helpful outside of combat.
Yeah. It really is.
Yeah, for sure.
But also has a lot of power in battle.
Oh yeah.
Protection based or even attacking based spell that is a time limit. Like
right.
I have to think of spiritual weapon in my head and I don't know if sorcerers have access to it, which is that sort of damage of it will last for the next 10 minutes in battle and you can keep using it over and over again. Double that.
Well, you could have access to it if when you choose your subclass, your background at the beginning, you literally could you could do a divine. Like, is it the divine?
It's the divine section of clerics. No.
Yeah.
You can. So there's one that you
divine
can
soul.
choose. Yeah, divine soul. That's it. Yeah, and you get some cleric spells.
Yeah.
So you could literally also when you're choosing your feats later on. Sometimes I will choose a few spells from another class.
Okay.
And I usually would go for either like some cleric spells or some warlock spells because you could get like Eldritch Blast as a cantrip, and that's like the most powerful cantrip.
Yeah.
And you could get that, or you could go and get some cleric spells if you haven't got much healing in your party. It would be really good to then.
No, don't worry, guys.
Subclass.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
a kind of sneaky,
like a sneaky little. I'm gonna use your spell.
Yeah.
Your favourite spiders climb?
Really?
I love spiders.
Mine's Fireball. That's my favourite.
Yep.
Fireball. Yeah.
So every time I say I'm not gonna do a fire build, I'm not gonna do a fire build.
Yeah.
It's like in Skyrim when they're like, I'm not gonna do a stealth archer. I'm not gonna do stealth archer. Yeah. Every time.
Sometimes you just gotta stick with what you know what you want to do.
And being chaotic, you know.
Exactly.
If you like the fire, play with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Live your life.
Feels like sternly advise maybe not.
Yeah, maybe
not. If you like the fire, play with it. You heard it in it first.
So after the extended, we have heightened spell, which is when you cast a spell that forces a creature to make a saving throw to resist its effects, you can spend 3 sorcery points to give one target of the spell disadvantage on its first saving throw.
This one feels a little expensive to me.
Yeah.
For what you're getting, could it be handy? Yeah, like Burning Hands, think of it, you've got to make a saving throw, you're giving them disadvantage. But it's 3
I was going to say,
sorcery points worth that.
you're not going to have that ability at second or third level anyway.
You'd be better off choosing that at a higher level.
Yeah, because you don't have 3 to begin with.
There's no point. There's other ones that I would
Yeah.
choose first. I would leave it till the higher
Yeah.
levels for sure. When you're maybe fighting a boss that might be a little bit more beneficial
Yeah.
than some random goblins, you know.
And disadvantage is still a rat.
Yeah.
As you said, chance the rest and going to rats. And but just because they have disadvantage doesn't mean they're still going to fail.
Yeah.
They could
Yes.
roll a 19 and an 18.
Yeah.
And they've still passed it.
And then you've just lost 3
points
out of
from
that.
that.
Yeah. You have.
So, whereas the others guarantee an outcome.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Then there's Quicken Spell.
Yes.
So when you cast a spell that has a casting time of 1 action, you can spend 2 sorcery points to change the casting time to a bonus action for this casting.
This is also
so good.
expensive.
I don't think so, personally.
I have a cheat code that I always do with it.
Okay.
So you could use use your spell slots for the bonus action, and use a cantrip for the main spell that you're doing.
Oh, sneaky. I like
Well
that.
done. Yes.
Yeah.
That's how I would use that.
Yeah. And it's
Yes.
great because well, you are still using the spell slot, but you're not using 2 in 1 turn.
Exactly.
And you're getting
You're hitting twice.
Yeah. Or you're hitting and doing something that
Yeah.
could be important for the scenario at the time.
Yeah. So yeah.
And I don't think 2 is that bad, considering it is turning in action. It's giving you an extra chance to attack.
Yeah.
I feel like if you only have to spend 1, it'd be too easy to do.
Yeah.
True.
If you've got a really good cantrip that's really powerful, just use that.
Fireball straight out of the game.
Yeah, fireball straight away. Use that.
The highest one out of the game. That doesn't need
Yeah.
saving throw. There's one that's the 12. Is that acid arrow for druids?
Yeah, I want to say yes, but I don't know off the top of my head.
There's acid something.
The next one is Sneaking Spell. So if you make an attack roll for a spell and miss, you can spend 2 sorcery points to re-roll the d20, and you must use the new roll. So if you re-roll and it is worse, you have to take it. You can use Sneaking Spell even if you've already used a different meta magic option during the casting of the spell. So if you have chosen, is it what was the one where you can re-roll the amount of
the empowered spell.
Yes. So if you have already used the empowered spell and it has not really done justice, you could then reuse Seeking Spell on top of that and see what happens.
Yeah.
No, because that's damage, so it has already happened.
So if you're rolling really badly, this might be very helpful for you.
Yeah. Basically, this is the rogue's version of, is it rogues can't, where they can't roll a certain thing. It's giving you the second opportunity to try and correct your failure.
Thank you, Emmy, on that. That's
We're here for support.
No, you're not. Savagery. This is what I have to deal with.
Right. Yeah, fair. I called you guys out many times on the first season. Then you joined in when it came to war.
Yes, I did. Sorry, Will.
We love you. Yes. Do you want to take the next one?
Yeah. So, Subtle Spell. When you cast a spell, you can spend 1 sorcery point to cast it without any somatic or verbal components. So I love using this one because you could literally just be in dialogue with an NPC, just stand there and then just suddenly like... You literally just be like, you don't even have to do like a little hand movement or anything. You genuinely just stand there and just be like, boom.
DM,
I'd
like to cast. Yeah, I'd like to cast Fireball.
And I cast Fireball using Subtle.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think it's great for roleplay aspects.
Yes.
you guys have had it. If you're taken hostage and
yes,
bound, but you've got a spell that can bring us through the rope or something, you'd be like, I like to cast Burning Hands directly on here. Like, but I need to do it separately. Or even if it's the fact that you know you can't burn through it because it's there and you can burn yourself, but you can attack your hostage to get away.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's handy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Or charming people without them knowing. Like even more so.
Yeah. For sure. It's a fun one. It is fun. It's fun for the roleplay aspect, definitely.
After this, I'm restructuring stuff. Again. She's going through. She's just having a moment. Yes.
We got 2 more of the magic options, which is transmuted spell.
Yep.
This is where you can cast a spell that deals a type of damage from the following list, and you can spend 1 sorcery point to change that damage type to one of the others listed. So this covers acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, and thunder.
Yeah.
It's probably not one that I would go for straight away. I'd probably wait until I was at a high level and go to pick the next batch. It is handy because if you have come across a creature that you are aware of its weaknesses, but you've got a spell that doesn't match it, you go attack and change it.
Yes.
Like a creature that is weak to fire, but you have not a single fireball in your arsenal. And you go, I've got ice knife, but if I can make this fire, wonderful. Like, I think it's really helpful.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take it in my first select.
No, definitely leave it till later levels, but definitely helpful when you're just like, because I know I always get I'm like, I'm a 5-year-old again, and then all of a sudden fighting something that is literally like fire has no effect on it, and you're like, oh crap, what do I do? Yeah.
It's happened to all of us.
Yeah.
Like,
imagine like fireball.
But it's like a full-on lava monster.
Yeah.
You're like, well, this is not going to do anything. This is going to make it stronger. No. Lastly, we have the twin spell. When you cast a spell that targets only one creature and doesn't have a range of self, you can spend a number of sorcery points equal to the spell's level to target a second creature in the range within the same spell. 1 sorcery point if the spell is a cantrip. To be eligible, the spell must be incapable of targeting more than one creature at a spell's current level. For example, Magic Missile and Scorching Ray aren't eligible, but Ray of Frost and Chromatic Orb are.
Chromatic Orb is a great one.
Okay.
It is just an orb directed at one person. It can do some hella good damage. I want to say 3d10.
Again, not the right person to be asking this. I didn't know what it was to begin with.
This is where I just keep pulling things out of my ass, and I'm just like, no, I'm like...
Welcome to the BBEG Podcast.
Okay, 3d8. My bad, 3d8.
Yeah. Do you use the cards? Because they're great for...
Yeah, I do have a pack of them.
Because I always use them in a
do you have like a folder?
Yeah. Cards. Because I always find, I'm like, what is this? Definitely if you're learning class as well.
Oh yeah,
so
because the page is like
so
it's black and white and everything's everywhere, and the writing. And I didn't realise this until we were playing next to brand new people, where they're like, "I've got a spell," and I'm like, "Wonderful, where is it?" And the writing is tiny.
Like,
I'm like, "Get my magnifying glass out here!" Like,
that's why I also got like the app has everything into it.
Yeah.
So from a DM point of view, when I've got, because we've got a sorcerer, a wizard, a ranger, a druid, and an arcane trickster in our party. So we've got a lot of magic, and they're all still fairly new.
Yeah.
So there are times where I don't understand the spell, and I'm just like, cool, what is it? So then I have everything at my disposal to go, cool, it's just like this. But I also have my cards downstairs because I tend to give them out to them as well. So they've got a solid,
helpful.
Yeah.
Just like, having that, be able to attack an extra person.
Yeah.
Again, just something as simple as fireball as a cantrip.
Yeah.
120 feet, but I need 2 people.
Yeah.
I would do that for that. 1 sorcery point for that.
I was going to say 1 sorcery. Some of these feel expensive for what you get when you have things like subtle spell where one sorcery point means you can cast anything without letting anyone else know, effectively.
Yeah.
Or twin spell where you can basically double your attack and it's cost you 1. And then you have things like heightened spell where it's going to cost you 3. It just some of them feel very pricey.
Yeah.
Now, the rest of the features that the sorcery gets, when you look at it on the list, doesn't feel like much, because you literally go from a level 4 with ability improvements or a feat even, if that's what you want.
Yeah.
You've got the sorcerer versatility option. I tend not to bother with that, really, but we'll cover that. Then you've got magical guidance, which is also optional, but at level 5, and then nothing really till the 20th level.
Yeah, you get your ability score improvement the same as you would do on a normal. No, on another class.
8 and 12.
And 16 and 19. So they jump, and as well as that, you have all of your spells and everything happening all at once. But
you get most of your extra features from the subclass that you've picked.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So we mentioned ability score improvement.
Yeah.
There's not much else to add on that. No. Apart from you get to add some improvements to your scores if that's what you want, or you pick a feat.
Yeah, I was going to say you add on to your scores and try and buff up your
buff up that charisma, and then I would say start thinking about things like luck or stealing some spells from I would 100% if you've got for like a fire build and you don't want to use a sorcery point to change your damage on your next chance to get a new feat, get some of those warlock spells, get Eldritch Blast, Eldritch Blast,
pick a feat that I love.
Just get Eldritch Blast. Do that. You'll be fine. You've got that cantrip sorted. Brilliant.
So this is the one thing that the sorcerer's versatility is kind of handy with if you want to mess with it. Like at this level, and then it would happen again at the same usual levels of an ability improvement. But you can change your meta magic options that you've already picked. So if you've gone, I'm not using that one as much as I thought, I'm going to pick something else if I get more use out of it. But you can also do the same with spells. So you can replace the cantrips and spells if that's what you wish.
Yeah.
So you might have gone, actually, this one not serving me as much.
Yeah.
Handy, yes. Do I think it warrants replacing? No.
Yeah, which I think is why it's down as like an optional.
Yeah.
It is something that if you wish to use it is there, but if not, it's no biggie.
No. The main thing with the cast is the meta magic and what you do with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you do desperately need to change anything. So it's worth it, but I don't usually bother with it that much.
Yeah. So 5th level, you have this magical guidance optional. A lot of the optional stuff came in Tasha's Cauldron.
Tasha's Cauldron is under your
right here. And that's where the sorcerer's versatility and the magical guidance is.
Yes.
So in this, you tap into your inner wellspring of magic to try and conjure success from failure. So when you make an ability check that fails, you can spend a sorcery point to re-roll the d20, and you must use the new roll, potentially turning the failure into a success. Basically, this is luck, but for sorcerers.
Yeah. Okay.
Because luck does that, does it not?
Yeah, but it's also got a similar feel to the, is it Seeking spell? Because you must take the new roll. You can't. Yeah. For someone like myself, I would only ever use this if I got a nat 1.
Yeah.
Because the only way is up, surely. If I roll anything like above that, I'm not touching this because I know that the possibility of getting a nat 1 is there, you know? But if you are lucky and have the ability of the dice, then this one may be for you. If you roll below a 10 and you're like, I can do better, you know? But I think it's very much based on how you're feeling on the day and how dire things are, that you're like, whatever the new roll is, it has to be better than what's just happened.
Yeah.
Especially if you roll like a 2 or a 3.
Yeah.
obviously a worst is the worst case scenario, but that's a very slim chance at that point. If you're like, oh, I only got a 15, I'm gonna re-roll. I'm like,
No.
rethink that.
Yeah.
Rethink that.
There's no point.
Because if a 15 didn't hit, that's a small chance to improve it.
Yeah.
But then, it then goes back to your ability score or the improvement. And like, you can change these each time. So if you wanted to at 4th level, you could choose an ability score. If you came back at 12th and you 8th, can't count, came back at 8th, and you were like, actually, I need some more feats. It's time.
Yeah.
You could chop and change, or lean heavily into one, or lean heavily into the other. Those are the options that you are given as you go through them. And last but not least, you have your 20th level Sorceress
Restoration.
Sorceress Restoration. So many odds. You regain. Oh my goodness! You regain 4 expended sorcery points whenever you finish a short rest. Helpful.
But I feel like it's a small little middle finger to the sorcerer.
Yeah.
Oh, how many sorcery points do you want by then?
It is kind of, I think it is a bit like, you have an 8 power, we're not going to give you actually anything that's like super, super cool at level 20. Because you think about like how Druid is literally at level 20 the most OP class.
Yeah.
Literally just
You've
like
got 20
transform
into an elemental as well.
Yeah.
And then Sorcerer, they're just like, you just get
short rest, you get 4.
You
got
get 4
level
points.
20.
And you're only getting 4 back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not extra. Like, I feel like they should have given us some extra.
Yeah, because a long rest, you'd get the whole thing back.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like 8 would have been a nice number.
Split it in half.
Yeah.
A short rest. Right. How long is a short rest? Is it an hour or 4 hours? Like, how long? Just DMs yourselves when someone goes over like a short rest. How much time are you?
It's like typically a 1 hour situation.
Yeah, I wouldn't do more than an hour.
Okay.
So which is why 8 is a nice number. It's not quite half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like half is enormous too much.
Yes.
Because then they've had 30 in one day.
That makes sense.
And you can take multiple short rests in a day.
Yes.
But 4, I'm just like,
for some reason in my head, I thought a short rest was longer than it is.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's because when we've taken a short rest, that is normally where we have broken for the end of the game. So I'm like, we've been asleep for hours. If it's an hour, then
for a class that's so powerful, I feel like it is a big middle finger, as you said. Like it is. Could have given them just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or just even some extra. So 4 on top of.
Yes.
I feel like would have been a bit better.
Yeah.
It does.
Or maybe it's
feel...
like 4+ charisma modifier, or you roll to see how many. That I would have enjoyed, because then if you roll shit, you roll shit.
Yeah.
But it's +4.
But it's also a short rest.
Yeah.
Every time you short rest, you get to re-roll.
Yeah.
So even if that time was terrible, the next time probably won't be. If you're not me.
I definitely think the rolling dynamic would have made it a bit fun.
Yeah.
You never know. And
it hints at like, is it the wild magic? Where it's like, wild magic.
Yeah.
You like roll for different things.
Yeah.
It brings an element of that in. But it does, there's a lot of these classes where we reach level 20 and we're like, did they just lose? Did they just not bother because they're like, no one's going to reach this?
Yeah.
So we'll just, it's kind of heartbreaking because you're like, you're not giving anyone the incentive to reach it if this is what they're getting back.
100%.
But this is why people like homebrew things, rules for sorcerers and stuff like that, because it is such a like, I worked so hard. Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. You don't reach level 20 like the next day you play. You reach level 20 years after you started or come back, or so it is a lot of time to put in for you then to be in like a big boss battle. You lose a lot of sorcery points. You sit down for an hour and only get 4 back. And when the price of like meta magic is quite high, 4 is only covering either 4 individual ones or 2 kind of more expensive.
And that's the whole thing.
If you go for high spell for 3 sorcery points.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing that makes sorcerers
unique.
class.
Yeah. And then like, that'll be you at this time.
Yeah.
Especially when you have the druid.
Yeah.
Where it's just like you can turn into any animal at will for as long as you want.
Yeah.
Your spell doesn't matter what it costs.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, can
words
cast
or
spells in animal form and
Yeah.
unlimited transformations.
Yeah. Just transform into
You get 4
elemental.
points. You get
and
4
then-
gold stars.
Yeah.
sorry, heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like the person that decided on that role was a wizard.
I wouldn't have to wholeheartedly agree.
Don't be bitter, be better. Song, mate.
Well, actually, they are better because it's talent.
Oh.
We'll have an email from someone from Wizardts
Wizardts.
Coast being like, and you will be removing this from online because you attacked me personally.
Yeah. I don't appreciate it.
Sorry.
So we now start to
Out of everything we've been through, this is the shit that gets us cancelled.
and subclass.
So many of your faces. Oh, beautiful.
So let's talk through them.
Yeah.
The most traditional,
Yes.
iconic bloodline.
Yeah.
Any of you got any words for iconic bloodline?
I have some.
Go for it.
Yes. I'll let you be more informative first because
Okay.
it's definitely more meme based.
Love it. Okay.
I think if you want a stereotypical, on the nose sort of where your powers have come from somewhere, it is the perfect one, especially if you're new.
Yes.
You get some cool bonuses from it. So because you are a iconic bloodline, it means depending on the dragon you have chosen as your heritage, you can share the resistance that they share.
Yeah.
So if it's the fire dragon, you are resistant to fire. Then later on, you can also take that and use it for any elemental weight spells that you have. So if you have a fire spell, you can add some extra damage on it because your affiliation is to a fire dragon. And the same for any of the the damage types. And if it's a nice dragon or whatnot. My favourite thing that you get is you get wings!
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to fly?
Yeah. The wings.
Yeah.
For sure. So it's really cool for a role playing aspect as well because you could genuinely it's literally be like somewhere along the lines, one of my ancestors fucked a dragon.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
Yeah.
And then that's how this has come to pass.
Yeah. It happened too.
There are so many ways to do it, but it is the way that you can. What's the meme? It's one of the guys that I follow on Instagram, and he's like the DM. It's the bard going, I like to seduce the dragon. It's like, okay, roll me. It's like, nat 20. He's like, okay. Heads or tails?
Yeah.
Like, what? It's like, heads or tails? It's like, heads. Ooh, tails, you're the bottom. He's like,
Wow, have you ever thought about like donkey, a dragon?
No, but now I have.
they have kids.
They have kids. Okay, I have only watched the Shrek series around Christmas time for the first time. So it was a revelation when I was alright, guys.
That hurts. That hurts.
It hurts so much.
What's knowledge on Disney?
We're not going there.
See who I surround myself with.
At any point.
I can't because my name's
No, you can't. I can leave at any point. I can't do that. Now I'm not going to be able to unsee, hear, think about it. I don't want to.
Was that your thought that you were on?
That was, that's what I was just thinking. It's basically like the thoughts about Donkey and Dragon in Shrek.
Yeah.
Literally the same with one of your ancestors had that.
Yeah.
And they made these hybrid human or elf dragon babies.
And I look at these things, Dragonborns, and went, a human slept with a dragon somewhere for you to have a humanoid form of yourself.
For sure. Yeah.
Or is it just sorcerers from long ago who very overdeveloped. And then at that point, their genetics were dragon.
Ooh,
interesting.
There are so many ways that you could play this. Thinking about it, is it? I know it's from birth, but all it takes is like one ancestor to be it's like a werewolf phenomenon, be bitten by a dragon, or like they stole an egg and they were cursed. Like that's part of the bloodline situation.
It's like Howl's Moving Castle. The more he uses magic, when he turns into that creature, if he's not careful, he can be trapped in that form forever.
Yeah.
So if you look at the sorcerers in the iconic bloodline, warfare was a pact, and then the more they used it, because you start to get sails and wings, at that point, you have fully just turned into this humanoid dragon, and that's how dragon came about.
Nice.
Yeah, but you mentioned art magic.
I do, which is specifically to art magic.
Do you want to?
Oh, so basically chaos. It is chaos in a nutshell.
It's you and the subclass.
It is me and
Yes.
Yes, if I didn't choose the one I had actually read the book as instructed, I probably would have chosen this for my sorcerer. Just because of how fun chaotic it can be, where it's every time you roll. Yes. So after you cast a spell, you roll a 20. If you roll a 1, there is a table that you have, and every number has an effect, I think.
From 1 to 100. That's where the D100 comes in.
Oh, okay. Right, that makes a lot more sense. In my head, I was thinking, rolling the D20 twice, is it? No. So
when you roll your attack, roll your spell, you roll this D100, find out what the effect is alongside that spell.
Yeah, and some of them can be really, like, nothing happens, and some of them can be like, you have burnt the entire room to pieces, everyone is dead. Like, it doesn't,
or you could be Tyler, who basically turned into a cactus midway through.
Yeah.
You cast a spell and like, oh.
Yeah. It's stunning. It's hilarious. Yeah.
This is the one I do the most.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Right. Give us
chaotic.
Yeah.
Because it's chaotic and the most fun.
Yeah.
Because you can like be like and then all of a sudden she turns into a sheep. And
that's what I was
all of a sudden you're a sheep. And also the kinds of chaos is so handy sometimes, having that advantage as well. And I don't know, I just find from a role-playing aspect as well, if you've got a character who maybe is the only person in their family with magical abilities, wild magic is great because you can just be like, oh, one day they hit puberty and then all of a sudden they exploded their school. And it totally works for it hand in hand. Whereas if some way you've got to choose with the draconic bloodlines where that came from, and they probably would have known unless they adopted. But this is the one that I love most for those ones whose family have like disowned them because they don't understand their power, or they sent them to some special school because they don't know their power.
I will say this: if you're after a spellcaster that you can control, this may be not the one. Because the whole table with the D100 is out of your control. And there's no way to like, oh, I've rolled a 10 and I'm about to like turn into a sheep. Is there a way that I can do that? It's not an option. It's going to happen. And if you're going to find that annoying, if it's going to ruin gameplay for you, this maybe is the one. However, if you love chaos, like apparently all of us do. You do, but I also bet that if you prefer chaos in other areas that aren't part of your soul character ability to what's then sure. But like lean into the chaos enough. Fully lean in.
Next one is Tasha's confidence, because the person we just spoke about was the PHP. Good old PHP. This is my personal favorite class because it's what my sorcerers are based on.
Yes.
It's the Aberrant Mind. If you are looking for a class that has like, you know me, I love Greek mythology. And some of my favorite characters aside from the gods, have always been like the oracles of Delphi and all that. So that's kind of where I went with it. And like, you get telepathy, you get psionic-based spells, telepathic speech, so you can communicate with people, and yeah, just as you grow, your psionic powers grow with you, and you can do more stuff. You can even defend against, keep yourself intact from people trying to be psychic with you, or psychic damage to you, so you're protecting yourself as well. I just think it's so fun. So my main character, that was Tyler's DNA, was just a pure sorcerer. My current one is a paladin, who is also multi-classed with. And this is Roll for Imagination. It's a Greek mythology inspired campaign.
Yeah.
So the things I chose from my character's backstory, he's also a devout follower of Apollo.
Yep.
And that's where his paladin side comes in. Oracles worship Apollo. So that's how I made the connection. And typically, the oracles were always women. It was never a man. And that's part of his stories. Like, he somehow inherited these gifts. But he's a bit of an outcast because he's a man and no woman will teach him how to use it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's just fun. And but also the others are just seeing these little gifts come in from time to time, and they're like, you're a paladin. Like,
how is this working?
So, I just think it's such a fun dynamic.
Yeah.
And it's useful in so many ways.
Yeah.
Especially the telepathy. You need someone to go in a room and whatever, but everyone else be on guard. I got you covered. We think who needs a walkie-talkie or a sending stone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially if you are captured.
Yeah.
Sending stone is going to be taken away from you immediately.
Yeah. Obviously, it does have its limits with how far. But if you're just going to talk to someone else and you need to talk to them without the guards hearing.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
And this is the one that always, if you like things like Cthulhu and Mind Players and all that stuff, if you loved the Dragonborn DLC in Skyrim, loved Mirak, this is such a good class for you. So good, so good. It's I love Cthulhu. I love Lovecraft, and
never played Cthulhu.
It's amazing.
Have you?
But I've heard about
Definitely
it.
Definitely, amazing. 100%.
There we go. You can come in and DM.
Yeah. But yeah, it's great for that as well, because you can always say that they're psionic powers, literally like a Mind Flayer type.
Yeah.
You literally can just do that, and then make them a tentacle boy.
Yes.
Like, you could even
stay away of that.
I wasn't going to
tell
that.
Taken out of this.
Yeah, that's
After that, we got Clockwork Soul. No, is that right?
Yes,
Clockwork Soul. So this is where your power rises from like the mechanist or like sort of clockwork realm. I have to admit, I don't know too much about this one, but it does sound fun.
Yeah, this one is the one that took me by surprise when researching them, because it was kind of like, you have all the ones that in my head make sense because it's either based in mythology or madness or dragons, and I'm like, all makes sense. And then you have clocks, and I haven't seen clocks represented a whole lot apart from in like robot form.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, interesting. There is a little bit of like mechanics going into this. So yeah, it's all clockwork and order is probably the way to structure it.
Yeah.
But
but it's got some good features in it. So there is still a balance. When a creature within 60 feet of you is about to roll a d20 with advantage or disadvantage, you can use your reaction to stop the roll and using them. So handy if an ally has disadvantage and you want to make sure they need to clear this, and very handy if an enemy has advantage and you go, nah, bitch, you're normal. Like, and that's level 1. Yeah. Just something, I don't think it's the biggest thing ever, but just something actually quite simple, but effective from such a low level, especially when you only have a d6 hit die. It could actually make the difference.
Yes. Yeah, Divine Soul, similar to a cleric or a paladin, you get your magic from a deity. So it aligns with. No, the power also aligns with good or evil, law, chaos, newt. Oh my goodness, let's say newts. Newt. Yeah, newt. I can't say it.
Neutrality. Yeah.
Fall apart. Yeah, so you get divine magic, and kind of spells like favored by the gods, where if you fail a saving throw on this an attack roll, you can roll 2d4 and add that to the total. So, for me personally, this would probably save. Hopefully,
Empowered healing is pretty cool.
yes, yeah.
So whenever you are alive within 5 feet of you, rolls dice to determine the number of HP a spell restores, and 1 sorcery point to reroll any number of those dice.
Yeah.
And I like how it's basically a meta magic option, which
Yeah.
is very specifically for this.
Mm-hmm.
And I have mixed feelings about classes that start to become a different class. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's a sorcerer, and because of this class, it's allowing it to become basically cleric paladin style.
Yeah.
There is part of me that at that point you might as well just play that class or multi-class. However, it's also fun because it shows a different dynamic and it does give you things that you can't typically get.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it a bit more special as well.
Yeah.
So I guess I can see the two sides of some
Yeah.
maybe very traditional people going, don't like that. Which I'm not saying I don't understand.
No.
But at the same time,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you want maybe a class that you love to be able to explore some other classes? And maybe that's the way that someone goes,
Yeah.
actually, I like this and maybe I will check out a cleric or a paladin.
But I also like that within all of the chaos and the meta magic and everything that you have, you also have, from a story point of view, if you're gifted your power, yes, but it is whether you are gifted it from your heritage or from an accident, or in this case, from a deity. If your character is already someone who is quite religious or has a huge faith, this works.
That is very true.
But yeah, that would be the way I would do it personally.
If you've got a really small party,
Yes.
and there's only like 3 of you, and you actually haven't got a healer,
It's handy.
it would be really handy to just have some healing spells in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you can still be a blaster with typical spells
Yeah.
that a sorcerer has.
Yeah.
I say this as the aberrant mind sorcerer that I am with an agency, and Tyler giving me flexibility when I write a lot of spells myself.
Yes.
And one of them was basically an air-based genasi spell that allowed you to heal people because we didn't have solitaire in the party.
Right.
And he was like, we don't have this. I went, I'm allowed to write the spell because it works thematically with his race as well.
Right.
Not just, I'm going to write myself on because we don't have one.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, no, it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's me going, don't know.
Yeah,
But I'll write myself a healing spell when I feel like it.
That's fair. But
yeah.
anyway.
It's correct.
It's alright. We learned things.
Yes.
This is what it's for. You're like, yeah, I don't agree with this. And then we talk a little bit more and we're like, actually, I've changed my mind. That's okay. Next we have shadow magic, and that is, it sticks to what it says on the tin. You gain your magic from the ability to manipulate darkness.
Yeah. It's basically divine self opposite.
Yes.
Yeah.
If divine self
Yeah.
is the light,
Yeah.
this is the darkness.
Because they both come from Xanathars. Yeah. They've literally gone, we're going to do it almost like a good and evil sort of.
Yeah.
How to put this in so fast.
Yeah.
That's what it gives me.
And even if you're just looking at what you get level 1, level 6, level 14, it's all very like eyes of dark, where you get extended dark vision. Dark vision for a longer range.
Yeah, extended vision.
Yeah. And like,
But strength of the grave. Yeah. Level 1.
Yeah. But like looking at them, they're all very dark. Hound of, is it 3 Omen? Third Omen? Hound of 3 Omen? Hound of the Omen?
Ill Omen.
Ill Omen. All capitals, that's why I can't read it. It's like 3s. Hound of Ill Omen. Orc or Umbral form?
Emerald form.
Umbral form. Umbral form. They're all very like Heart of Darkness.
Yeah.
Things that are happening. Which if that is your vibe, lean in.
Yeah.
We translate.
You're Woman of the Darkness.
Wow. On nights we don't need to.
Right, and then the last one is Storm Sorcery.
Yes.
Again, this is one that I've dabbled with.
Ooh.
I got absolutely eviscerated in a one shot because I was DM the first time. I didn't have the time challenge ratings.
Oh no!
So we got slaughtered. But again, for someone who is a Greek mythology boy, if you want that sort of Zeus or Thor sort of situation, this is where, or even Storm from X-Men, this is where you get to enjoy the sort of the more comic side of things.
Yeah.
Comic books, not comic haha, but you guys. But yeah, your power comes from the air element, and you can basically create storms. You're a wind speaker, so you can command is infused with the element air, so you can speak, read, and write primordial, which covers the dialects of Aquan, Oran, Ignan, and Terran. Some people might think, why do I know that language? But actually, it could be really handy.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want to command, it's water elemental, isn't it? Water and air?
Yeah.
Primarily?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then that is, if you are leaning more towards, if you have your, is it air genasi?
Yeah.
Then you were like, we're going in.
Yeah.
This is the one.
Even a water genasi in that context.
Yes.
Because if you look at Poseidon, he's god of the sea, but also god of storms.
Yeah.
Well, this is why Titan.
Yeah.
Because it was really cool to literally use sea storm kind of magic. Yeah. So it works for that.
And that's just a fun theme to play with. I
Yeah.
say fun theme, but fun theme.
We're all on it today.
Now we're near the end, and this is where we talk pros and cons of the class as a general.
What are your pros and cons for this class? I know we're all very biased. Love them.
You want to kick off?
Yeah, I think pros definitely you can hit hard.
Yeah.
From the very first level, you can hit hard, deal some damage. The only thing is, as you level up, you don't seem to. It feels like the party they level up a lot more than you do as a sorcerer. It's like you peaked too early.
I get
kind
that.
of thing with the leveling. And I also sorcerers are so squishy. They're so squishy.
Yes.
They're not
Fragile.
Yeah, they are fragile. And if you get hit, you're going down because you're squishy.
I love that saying.
But it is true. They is squishy.
They're squishy. That's the main things I would say as the pros and cons. They are great damage dealers. But
absolutely.
They're not.
You have to be very self-aware when
Yeah.
you are casting all of your stuff, but maybe you don't want melee weapons or attacks because that means that you are there. And when the BBEG turns round, if you're the first thing they see, they're going for you. So yeah. You're squishy.
You squishy.
Love it.
You got no armor.
You got no armor. You got no armor. Just some rope.
Just hoping there's a cleric with shield of faith nearby.
Just some ropes. It's always just the robes, isn't it?
Robes.
Oh, I thought you said ropes. Ropes. I was like, what are you dressing your character as? Just ropes.
Bikini made up of ropes.
Yeah.
It's very any sort of RPG game like this, when you look at the women's armor compared to the men, it's literally a bikini.
It's what Bayonetta. Literally prime example.
Yeah. All ropes.
It's just literally just a bikini. Ish.
Won't even be ropes, but just zip ties.
Yeah. Robes. Sorry.
Robes.
Yes, it is just robes. Yeah.
Any pros and cons?
The robes.
Robes are a con.
It's robes for me. It's giving squishy. Okay.
I know. Just have you seen the video of the guy with the chipmunk?
Did you have to go?
So he goes out into his garden and he's like, I wonder if the chipmunk's been hibernating and he's giving it food. It's called Squishy. So he just hears it, Squishy!
No!
No, it's been said. I'm going to find it for you. It's adorable.
Yeah. Oh. So, pros. Love the ability to have different and more versatile uses of magic.
Yeah.
Love the ability of, now that I know what they do, spell slots, sorcery points, to be able to add advantage to your spells. Love that. Do think that they kind of do take the piss from, it's such a low, it's literally after 5. After 5 it stops, and then after that it's kind of not worth.
But it's not that after 5 it stops, it's all from the subclass that you've picked.
True, but if your base that you have is already kind of, weak is the wrong word, if the base that you have is already not giving you the extra ability that you need, you reach level 20 and you're kind of like, I've not gained anything. And if you're in a party where you have, we keep bringing it up, but druids, because rogues are the same, where they kind of
get everything at every level.
Yeah. And you have, is it cleric, where they just kind of gave up at the end, and the same for monk, where they just kind of gave up at the end. That is your party. You have half of them being absolutely stacked with abilities and able to do everything, and they're having to then carry anyone else who's level 20.
I think it's also so sorcerers and druids, when they're leveling up every level, spells are coming into play as well. You're getting more spells, which I think sacrifices some of the extra features that, like a rogue almost can feature almost every other level.
True. Yeah. They don't have the magic unless they use it, which I get. It just, no.
I do get it.
Magical classes in terms of what they get, not at every level, because it's a little bit different, but what they get towards the end, which if the campaign is going for ages, and some people love to do it. You've got the 30-year campaign or something going on online, or you're carrying it with you with all your friends, and you reach level 20, you want that to be like the big bang, you've done it. And it does feel like they've just gone, well, they've already accomplished everything within the first 5, so subclasses is where they're going to have to be heavy.
Yeah.
And then it just is a little bit disappointing that is the end.
I do get you.
You know?
Yeah.
But apart from that, everything else is great. And the ability to incorporate clerics, and the ability to incorporate, if you want to create your X-Men characters, or your X-Men in general, where it's like you have gained this magical ability as a teenager in puberty, and your parents send you off to magical school. That's not magic. You want to create things that are part of things you've seen on TV. This is probably the easiest one to adapt to that.
Yeah.
And it's great. But I just feel like it's a huge con level 20 of giving.
No, that I agree with.
Mm-hmm. What are your...
I mean, I think everything's really been covered. I think what I like about Sorcerer is because of each subclass is almost like a theme, which I just think gives overall Sorcerer so much variety in terms of where you can take your character.
Yeah.
And I don't think every subclass for every class has that. It's like Wizards have sports, so you pick a sport to specialise in. But like, this really gives you a set of abilities depending on what you've picked. So Elaborate Mind, you get the psychic stuff. Clockwork Soul, you start to play with time and how you can manipulate things for advantage and disadvantage. Wild Magic, chaotic. Dragon, Draconic, having that sort of dragon heritage, how that affects not just your magic but your body.
Yeah.
All the subclasses have that, and I just think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because you get this extra.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it. Con, squishy. I do think they make area controllers as well.
Yes.
If you pick the right spells. I don't think everyone a sorcerer has that, but I think it's not to be sniffed at. Is that the right way of saying it?
It's not something that you should ignore.
Yeah. Because you can hit hard and then if you have some good terrain spells,
Absolutely.
you can really, and if you're staying at the back as well and you don't get too involved, you can really help out the party by manipulating the field.
Yeah.
And I just think that puts them in a really good place.
Definitely. Yeah. And I will just say one more thing, actually. And the other thing is also they're not having any of their powers to any deity. Well, there are, somewhere they can get it from deity, but like before they have a pact. This is just an innate power. They don't have to learn their power.
Talent.
This is just talent. Pure talent. And they just have it. It's just there.
No wonder the three of us have chosen Sorcerer. So, at the end of everything, one thing that we've been doing for this entire series, we are ranking all the classes on where we put them for us. Overall, it's the main 12. I know where this is for me. I'm pretty sure we were opposites.
We were indeed.
So, if you were to put a Sorcerer from 1 being your top to 12 being the lowest, would you know where you put it?
Yeah, I'd put it at the top.
Yeah.
For sure.
Any particular reason?
I think it's just because all of the books and stories that I love are all about this, like, kind of person that has this power and they don't know where it came from. I like the mystery of it. But yeah, that would be
with you.
definitely my number one.
Mine is number 2, and we had this conversation where it's like we know what each other's is because my first love will forever be Druid.
Yeah.
Because I'm an Earth girly.
Yeah.
And the ability to change into animals thrills me greatly. But this is a very, very close second because of the magical ability that you have, that you're just gifted with, that you can then adapt and play with. So yeah, it's a solid 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas we've literally our top 2 is reversed.
Yeah.
So my second is Druid, my first is Sorcerer. Though Wizard is what I fell in love with to begin with, it's when I played Sorcerer, I went, this is really who, it's cheesy to say, but I am. Like, I really was like, this is me. Like, every time me and my friends spoke about Lord of the Rings, and we were nerds, going from free period from college, like, let's walk to Tesco. It wouldn't be let's walk to Tesco, it'd be to Quest. Quest. And that's how we'd phrase it. Garen was like, I'm always going to be a dwarf.
Yeah.
He's quite a tall guy, but he just loves like those characters.
Yeah.
And I've always been, I am Gandalf. I don't have the intelligence to be Gandalf. However, talent. So Sorcerer is just like makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And connect in so many ways. And it's just fun to play. Whereas I did enjoy my Wizard. But I just felt like there's some limits because they had to be done in a way because the traditional Wizard is sort of studies who may be a bit stuffy. And okay, that could be such a fun character to play. I just really enjoyed the sort of freedom of I'm discovering this power as they go because I've got this connection to something or something's happened in my life. I think that's fun.
Yes.
So Sorcerer is my number 1.
Yes. Look at us. High rank. Yes.
Take us out.
Thank you so much for watching. You can catch us on YouTube. We are also available on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. We are also a podcast on the normal podcast platforms, and now I have to list them.
Google Podcast, Amazon Podcast, Apple Podcast,
Spotify. And if you would like to write in and really let us know your thoughts, you can email us at the BBEG Podcast at gmail.com. You can find us on all the platforms at the BBEG Podcast. Go check us out. We'll be available next time with a different class, I assume.